every single one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Good day, everybody, whether it's morning, evening, or anywhere in between. Welcome to unRekt Traders. So we have a new monthly and new quarterly. So with new quarterly, we're going to jump into the monthly here. There's no point in looking at the quarterly on Cardano. There's not enough data. You know, we don't even have a ton of data on the 50 moving average on the monthly, but we can still give it a quick read. So what we're looking for currently right now is we have the 10 coming down into the quasi range here, just below the plus 100. So we are looking for a possible return back to this 10, which is the green line here, at sitting at, let's say 45 cents right now. However, we have the 20 sitting well above the plus 100 on the quasi. So this is going to be extremely strong support, sitting in and around 57 cents. So what we could see happen is price move down into the support here. And then basically, you know, we may see a wick down a little bit. It could go all the way down to the 45. That's possible. But no matter what happens on the monthly, the body itself should not close below the 57 cents. So if we actually do see a nice wick come down into this range, it'll be a good time for a long, because we know that the body itself does not want to close below the support line of 57 cents. So it's always a good indicator that, you know, we have a possibility for a nice long to bring us back by the end of the month to that 57 cent level. Now we do have the 3.2 above us sitting at the 82 cent level. So that'll be a strong, very, very strong resistive area. And we are just, you know, we did open up below the 50. So this 50 technically should also act as a nice resistive level, push us down into the support, see how far down we can go. And by the end of the month, we should be closing above that 57 cent level no matter what. So we'll come into the weekly. On the weekly itself, what do we see here? We have 10 coming down to the range, but we already had that hit, 50 holding support because the 50 is sitting above that range, 100 being very strong support. But we do have that 20 still coming down. So we came down to the 10, bounced off that 50, and the 50 held as support just because of how high this is on the range. But we do still have that 20 coming down. Now that 50 will still be support, but because of where that 20 white is, for the possible target at 57 cents, which is, I believe, our resistive level, or supportive level, sorry, on the monthly. So we could see price move down in there, wick to the 20, and then close above that 59, or, you know, even to this 100 actually. You can see the wick to this 100 at 56. And then for this week, you know, we should be closing in and around this kind of level, that 60 cent level no matter what. Now we do have the 200 above us at that 71 cent level, which, you know, we'll see if it holds as resistance. But then we also have the 3.2 above us at 87 cents. So, you know, on a weekly level, we are showing a bullish pattern here. So the possibility to come down into this 100 and then bounce up to the 3.2, that is a possibility. But as of right now, we'll see if the 200 holds as resistance, and, you know, this 100 basically holds as support with the wick closing at the 59 for the weekly. We'll jump right into the daily. On the daily, we have a mean reversion coming down to the 200. We got the 200 entering in on March 16th. So that 200 is acting as a mean reversion, wanting to come back down to the 47 cent level. So that could be the level we were looking at on the monthly for a wick down to, which is, you know, that is a possibility. We are kind of caught in this 200 as of right now. It did try to pop up. We can see here with the 10 moving up on the quasi here, 10 and the 20 moving up, we had the mean reversions, and then back down below that 200 resistive Bollinger Band sitting here. So, you know, we had the 100 return already. So we're looking for this 200 return to that 47 cents. Is it going to happen on this daily? Obviously not, just because of how much support there is on the other things. So unless we have a quick, you know, real big flash down, with a wick right back up, and that is possible. We kind of had one here, to be honest with you. So, you know, is it possible? 100%. But even if we look at this candle here, you know, all of the ranges were above except for the 10. The 20 did come down, but we had the, you know, we had a flash crash down to the 50, and that 50 held because it's well above the range. And then even technically even the 100, 200 had to be above the 100, 200 by the end of the daily close. So even though we had this nice crash down, you know, it was a perfect time to buy no matter what, because we know it's going to close well. You know, we knew it had to close above 66 cents. So, you know, 57, close at 67, or 64, and you know, it was a nice, really would have been a really nice long if you caught it. So coming into the 4 hour. 4 hour itself, we have not a whole lot, to be honest. I can't, you know, everything's kind of within the Bollinger Bands, consolidating, tightening up, and waiting for a move. So really on the 4 hour, we really have to wait for this 10 of white to kind of come back up into the trend zone here. And then once it kind of moves back up, then we can see a nice move. But on the 4 hour itself, we do have the potential for a decent move. And once this starts to heat back up, and then once it starts to heat back up, we could see a move to the positive direction or to the negative direction. So whatever the quasi is weighted to on the 20 white here. So if it's weighted to the downside, then the move will be a push to the downside. And if it's weighted to the upside, the push will be to the upside to this 200 probably at that 68-cent level. And that's kind of, in all honesty, that's kind of pushing it right now, even on the 4 hour, just based upon what I'm kind of seeing right now. So a little bit of consolidation, you know, probably just take it at some liquidity levels. We might take it that 66.8 or the 63 level. But as of right now, not really seeing too much on the 4 hour. So biggest moves really are on the weekly and the monthly. And we'll see if the 200 can hold us coming down into the support level at 56 with possible little pop down with a wick or whatever. But more or less that's what I'm seeing. So we'll go into the Nexus here. We do have the new quarterly, like I said. Let me just extend these lines so we can see it a little better. All right, so currently we do have the quarterly higher than the previous one. So we are looking for continuation to the upward direction. And I just want to zoom in real quick here for a second just to see. So we did open above it. And we're kind of at, well, you know, we're actually pretty well coming into it already, tagging it for the most part. Now, how far down we come, that's questionable. You know, the actual pivot itself is at that 63.5. So we could see the move down into there, take out these equal lows on the 5 minute. Possible liquidity at the 63.5. Come in, tag, take out the liquidity, and then let me just zoom out a little bit more. So again, like I said, we are looking for a continuation in the upward direction. Now, if we do break below this quarterly here at the 62.8, then we could see a move down to the previous quarterly, which would be the 54.6. And then this should hold as support. And then we'll see kind of, if it does, you know, if it does continue in this direction, of course, then we'll see if, you know, we break below the yearly, which is going to act as a pretty strong support in itself. So, and we did open above the previous quarterly. So typically what we want to see when we open up above the quarterly or a new open is to push up first before breaking down. In this case, we're kind of seeing the breakdown coming into that quarterly. So we really want to see this 62.8 hold. And then, you know, from there, push up, trying to take it the previous 3-month high, coming to that monthly R1. And then if we get some real bullishness on here, then coming up into the 3-month R2. But as of right now, we'll see what happens when we come into this quarterly, if we do fall through or range in here and then push above. Now the quarterly itself is a little smaller than the previous one, so we could see some explosive moves this quarterly, which would be nice. And then we could see some nice pops in the upward direction or to the downward direction. So, but again, you know, we are looking for that upward direction. So just get rid of these brush marks. And we'll take a look at the monthly. So I'll get rid of this daily. I'll leave the weekly on. The monthly itself is higher than the previous. So we are looking for a continuation to the upward direction. The weekly itself is also higher than the previous one. So we're looking for continuation in the upward direction. Now, what we do have though is the open below the monthly and the weekly. So typically what we want to see, and because the monthly is a shorter time frame than the quarterly, it typically takes precedence over the quarterly. So what we want to really see is a push down to this previous week low, which is at the 63 cents. And then on the monthly, we kind of want to see a move down into here, but we don't really want to break this monthly. So we really do want this one to hold. So coming down into this previous week low, maybe to this pivot at the 61.25 we kind of really want to see this pivot hold. We don't really want to break through here and then continue in that upward direction. But the possibility is we do break down to this previous month low, which is a pretty extreme actually, and then kind of come down in here, back up to the monthly, fill the monthly, and then go bullish from there. But we really don't want to fall through this monthly previous range. And so if we did come down to this previous week low, to the weekly S1, maybe to this 61, and then push higher from there into this monthly, and then fill this naked monthly, naked weekly, and then hopefully try to push up higher. This is a naked pivot here. Technically, we had a wick just touching it. So that move up into this range here is pretty decent still. Technically it has been hit, but it is still a pretty decent range to come into, which would, just be above that monthly. That would give us that oomph to push up and through anyway. So, and that's kind of at that 69-cent level. So overall, we are looking for a bullish pattern, but we are looking for a little bit of a drop, hopefully not below 62, or this pivot at 61, and then push up higher, take it, fill in this naked, and then up into this previous month high, or even higher to the monthly R2 at 91, which is pretty extreme move again on the monthly. So let me just bring up one more weekly to see, kind of should be sitting in here. Oh, it's actually lower. So this would be pretty decent resistive zone actually for this month. And then, if we get above there, then we're more or less looking at taking out this liquidity up here anyway at the previous month high. So in all reality, our true resistive zone is going to be this weekly, and then our support zone will be this pivot, or even this pivot here. So basically this previous week low. So previous week low, or this previous pivot at 69. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And then if we take it liquidity, come down further, if we do actually break this monthly here at 59, then we're looking at coming back into this guy over here at 54. So, and I think the 54 was what was on the monthly machine as very strong support. And that would bring us to that monthly S1, which would be, kind of a perfect move really. But then we are showing bearishness on Cardano quite a bit. We kind of are already, but we do want to see that pump up to that dollar, obviously. So, we got to the 80-cent mark. Be nice to get to the even higher. So, all right. So that's kind of what I have for Cardano right now. And then, yeah, even though it is kind of tight ranges, we might previous month low 57, maybe that 54. If we go bearish, hopefully we can stay bullish on the daily. We're in the kind of a bullish pattern as of right now still, and then take out this previous month high at 80, and then we'd be looking at liquidity at the 89. We're coming into, be nice to, it'd be really nice if this month we could get into this range right here, to be honest with you, and that bring us up to that dollar area perfectly. So we'll see what happens, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.
Visit unrekt.me and download our free powerful indicators, and join our community of traders in our Discord server and get full access to the Machine Suite indicators, the Nexus Suite indicators, and the Nexus Screener.